BlameF has been fragging well recently. He even put up back-to-back 30 bombs against Entropic. But there's still one question that's going around the community. Is BlameF a baiter? I think we all know that BlameF has been handling the AKs on the server lately, but right here, right now, I am challenging BlameF to an arm wrestle because I don't think he can handle these guns, baby.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy. Okay.
I tried to put on the leather jacket to make that seem more intimidating. I'm not sure it really worked, but hey, if he doesn't see this video and doesn't reply, I can pretend that he's just ducking me. Okay, getting into things seriously though, I need to distinguish between baiting in MM and baiting at pro level play. The pro teams are putting so much time into setting up strats, setting up how they want to play the rounds, they have support staff surrounding the team, so if they thought a player was actually baiting and getting no impact with their kills, they would do something to change this. If I saw this play in an MM game, I would call it baiting. But here, Blame purposely doesn't trade initially because he knows at the pro level, people are either expecting that instant trade or for no one to be there. And that allows him to wait for the rotations as his teammates take B and get a freebie from behind. Or there's this example where it's clear Glaive has specifically asked BlameF to sit back, so if there is any aggression into connector, he can get the trade kill and put Astralis into a favorable 4v4. Something else worth considering is now that you can drop nades, having one player at the back of the pack who knows a lot of good utility can be a very effective strategy. In this round, we got the smoke and the molly on the initial ramp control, then a couple more nades dropped to BlameF, another smoke to the left side of site, followed up with a molly, and this flash which full blinds Forrester and helps Farley get this double entry onto the bomb site. Although the downside of lifting all those weights and being so big ends up being that this drop down makes a little bit of noise. And that spells the end of BlameF in this round, but the utility was nice. Honestly, BlameF threw so many nades, I was almost wondering whether he was doing a CS nades throwing speedrun at some points. Welcome back to the CS throwing nades speedrun. Good RNG on the spawn, got the scaffold smoke. For some reason, people like to try and get kills, but I'm all about the nade speedrun. Easy nade to the right. I'm not going to help Glaive, I want to get a nade off his body here. Great RNG on teammate dying, that's another smoke. Might as well chuck a flash in there too. Molly to the right, and another flash. Give me that smoke config, I'm on PB pace. Smoke left side default. Scavenge another molly, that's huge. That's a PB, let's go. What am I doing with my life, man? Memes aside, pretty much all that utility was useful, but this leads into an aspect of BlameF's game I do have some issues with. As he moves up to the site, he is so concerned about someone peeking from this site box that he doesn't commit to the site too heavily, can't get the opportunity to trade with his teammates, and because he's playing so reactively instead of proactively, he's left in a 1v3 which is almost impossible, even though BlameF is actually a good clutcher. These plays were rarely egregious baiting, they were just a little on the safe side in my opinion, in scenarios where Astralis are already down and probably need to take some risks. In this one, the molly to under palace is good, but he overlooks the possibility of someone playing up top. And so instead of instantly trading or committing to the site, which Astralis needed to come back from this numbers disadvantage, instead he's just kind of waiting around these smokes and seeing if Furia give him that fight, which just isn't going to happen here. And I think part of the reason why you see BlameF in so many of these unwinnable 1vx scenarios is because of his unwillingness to take those risks at times. However unlikely they may be to work, they're almost always more likely to win you the round than getting stuck in spots like these. I also think the overall cohesion / communication of the team could have a part to play here. Like in this round, where BlameF gets off to a good start thanks to Glaive's flashbang and gets away with an opening kill. But then, if you watch this round from Lackey's perspective, you're probably wondering why the hell BlameF is just kind of sitting at CT and it looks like he's letting his teammates die. But when you take a look at the bigger picture, you start to realize that both Glaive and Config don't even seem aware of a possible sneak up through this smoke. Astralis as a whole are fully focused on short, so clearly don't see this play as a possibility. And so really it comes down to comms and the general understanding between the players, as BlameF wouldn't have even been able to see this player sneak through the smoke onto Config in the first place. And then just doesn't seem to react in time because this seems like such an unexpected play in the moment. And then there's this round where Astralis end up committing to A despite having left the bomb behind. And even though BlameF is initially the closest player on the A side of the map to the bomb, this clearly feels like more of an on-the-fly call once they get those kills onto the site, and they probably just needed to realize they can't make this play when they have the bomb so far back. So as BlameF goes back to get that bomb, his teammates get snuffed out of the round, he's left in a 1v3, and he does a really solid job of getting these first 2 kills and bringing it to the 1v1. And even though he doesn't play this 1v1 to the best of his capabilities, just getting it to this point in the first place is pretty impressive and brings us nicely onto one of the reasons why BlameF is put in these late round scenarios so often. Imagine you're in a kitchen with a team of chefs, and some of those chefs are especially skilled at making starters, some are especially good at making the mains, and some are especially good at making the desserts at the end of the meal. Well, in this analogy, if you had the wrong people in the wrong places, Gordon Ramsay would probably come into the kitchen and call you an idiot sandwich.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
Idiot sandwich what?
An idiot sandwich, Chef Ramsay.
And in this analogy, BlameF has a really good skill set for whipping up those desserts, aka his incredible clutch ability and his really good trading ability, which would be wasted if he was getting sent in first all the time. Oftentimes, it's BlameF's patience in these late round scenarios that nets him so much success. For example, he doesn't force this fight towards short, instead he waits for the trade kill to come to him, which eventually it does. Then he slowly makes sure he figures out the best option as he gets onto the site, getting the AK, getting the bomb back, and even going for a fake plant while Farlig watches the window just to make sure the back of the site is clear and Farlig can continue to cut off those rotations. From here, because Farlig has that angle locked down, he knows he can pretty safely move towards short and mostly focus on that angle. And then Farlig does some great work to help out, and BlameF's unexpected position pays off. His effective trade ability can also be used earlier in rounds, especially in rounds like this one, where BlameF has the only hero AK on the team. Blave goes ahead and runs up connector first to set up a potential trade kill, but it seems like Forrester is fully expecting this to be an eco, and so isn't anticipating the AK on the other side to get this easy pick, and now Astralis have another gun to work with. From here, they go ahead and go up towards the bathrooms. This time it's Zipex who walks in first, and BlameF again has fantastic crosshair placement to pick up this trade. And now they can get the bomb down on the site thanks to Farlig moving up with that rifle they picked up from earlier. I do think you could argue BlameF plays this a little too safe after getting the bomb down. Farlig is already pushed up and committed, so by backing off, you are leaving him, and as soon as he loses his fight, this is a 1v3 which is almost impossible. Even with the first entropic player being picked off, these two CTs can just coordinate so well on the site. They can even use the angle of elevation up on the box to win this post plant. But the work that BlameF put in to even get to this point was very impressive. And then finally, I actually think BlameF doesn't get enough credit for going in first fairly often for this Astralis team. In this round, he starts by solo holding connector, which is his standard spot on the map. And he knows his teammates are working up towards bathrooms, so his job here is to survive and keep this control while his teammates can slowly work as a pack down connector. And that means once he gets flashed, he just tucks in and waits for his teammates to push in from the top to get this early kill. And then from here, he's put as the only player actually in the bathrooms itself, so when the time comes to have to fight, BlameF does exactly that as he gets this early kill to open up the play onto the A-bomb site. In this one, when Astralis have a weaker buy, even though BlameF is having a great game, he has the best spawn, so when the rush B is called, he is happy to run in first. Unfortunately though, turns out stealing his strats from silver matchmaking isn't the best way to win at Pro Counter-Strike. Who knew? It's not only in the lower buy rounds either. This is a round where Glaive is setting up this flashbang towards A to try and go for the late push towards the bomb site, and BlameF is the first point of contact and doesn't even get to look the right way before dying, sadly, in this scenario. This was more prevalent on Overpass, but it definitely happened on other maps too. This one is another spawn-based example on Mirage where they call for a quick A play. BlameF has the best spawn, and he does a pretty solid job at getting this one open and kill and waiting for the smokes to be up so he can close this gap. And then there's this one where Astralis take mid, I think to try and take the attention away from A so BlameF can go for a contact play, but Safe doesn't budge, And unfortunately, this opening kill attempt ends up going south. And then finally, here's one on Nuke, where when you are down in a 3v5, one of the few places you can get a fair fight to try and bring it back is over towards Squeaky. So BlameF does exactly that, and you can see in a lot of these scenarios, he's having to go in first in pretty suboptimal positions, and so I don't think it's fair to say he's baiting all the time when he's got rounds like this in them. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, check out this video here on Heroic, or why not check out this video which YouTube thinks you'll like.